The Associated Press lists the top news stories this week. Russia is ready to negotiate peace in Ukraine with China. The Hindu Party is taking over India, and a miniature poodle named Saga wins the Westminster Kennel Club dog show. Nothing captures our attention quite like dramatic news headlines or the death of a loved one. We go about our lives in a casual way until something happens that snaps us out of it. 9/11, the financial collapse, and the pandemic narrative. I had a friend who lost a cherished pet. She told me she was more upset about losing her dog than if her daughter had died. No one has to apologize for grieving. Palliative care tells us to make the patient comfortable, give them the assurance they need. We all have the things we can change and the things we can't change, the things we should tackle and the things we should hand over to God. Knowing the difference between our threshold and God's threshold. There's a difference between being glad you're not dead and being glad you're alive. Welcome. Welcome to Illinois Bridging Awareness. I'm Stanley Smith. Last week, we talked about how love conquers all. The various ways we can say this can make it a question, a challenge, a belief, or even a condemnation. We all need to take responsibility for our voice, its tone and inflection, and be aware that it has consequences, consequences for ourselves and for others. As we continue to exit the pandemic narrative, we can see that this has been a big distraction. Simply living through it was a distraction from being alive. Maybe we were always distracted from being alive, but at least we were having a good time in the process. It's time to get back to that. None of us are going to win a prize for being the most unhappy person, for being the most aware and awake. Let's go for the most loving and most kind person on our block. Christ didn't entrust his ministry to the religious community. He entrusted it to his disciples, to you and to me. We all know the story. We just need to enact it with our tone and our inflection. It's not so much what we say, it's how we say it. Love conquers all. We can conquer what we can conquer, and what we can't, we need to hand over to God to conquer for us. Admiral McRaven, in his commencement address, said, "We can change the world by making our bed." That's something we can do. But what else is on our list? And what else is on our list for God? How closely aligned is the Associated Press list of top stories and our concerns? And is there anything left on that list that's left for God? In faith, we can probably see that most things are in God's domain: the earth, the stars, the weather, and all that sustains us. Somewhere between what we can do and what we need to leave for God is a profound sense of gratitude waiting to be discovered. There is a tone and an inflection in the world today, in the press and in the media. In currency, it says that in God we trust. We do. We trust in God and not in the currency of the world. It sounds the same. It's the difference between being happy not to be dead and being happy to be alive. We can exit the reality of being happy not to be dead and focus on God entering in. We were in this place before all this craziness in the world entered in. Love does conquer all, and we can invite that back into our lives now and tomorrow. If you would like to join us at Illinois Bridging Awareness, the Saturday call is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.